Do you really believe that Donald Trump, now back in the White House in 2025, still has the power to pressure countries into submission using aggressive economic measures like he did in the past? Can the old strategy of imposing tariffs still work in a world where multipolarity is advancing, and the United States is no longer the undisputed center of global power? Before we go any further, make sure to like this video, share your opinion in the comments. Was Trump bluffing, making a strategic move, or simply miscalculating? And of course, share this with anyone who still believes Brazil is powerless in the international arena, because today, we're going to show exactly the opposite. Earlier this year, with his nationalist rhetoric back in full force, Donald Trump returned to the US presidency determined to revive the confrontational style of his first term. One of his first major announcements was a 50% tariff hike on Brazilian products, a move that initially alarmed markets, worried the agribusiness sector, and raised red flags in Brasilia. But when the official measures were released, they turned out to be much weaker than expected. Trump excluded key sectors from the list, such as aviation and agricultural exports, sparing citrus fruits, meat, and other goods that would have had a direct impact on the American consumer. So what really happened? Was it an empty threat, internal pressure from US industry, or a calculated move to send a message without triggering an actual economic conflict? Interestingly, the political winner from all this was President Lula. That's because Brazil didn't provoke this crisis. On the contrary, the tensions have been fueled by figures from the Bolsonaro camp, especially Eduardo Bolsonaro, who over the years had alienated multiple global actors with inflammatory statements and amateur diplomacy. Lula, on the other hand, maintained a cautious and strategic posture. He didn't retaliate, didn't resort to harsh words, and stayed focused on quiet diplomacy. The political contrast between Trump's public aggression and Lula's institutional calm only enhanced Brazil's image abroad as a mature, stable nation. In the end, what was supposed to be a defeat turned into a diplomatic win. Trump couldn't impose the pressure he intended, Brazil held its ground, and Lula emerged stronger both domestically and internationally. Trump seems eager to repeat the playbook from his first term, when he imposed tariffs on China, Canada, and even European allies. Some of those actions had short-term effects, but many backfired, sparking trade retaliation and harming US industries. Still, Trump insists that his aggressive trade policies were effective, and now he wants to revive them. But the world in 2025 is not the same as in 2017. China has expanded its influence across Latin America, Africa, and the Middle East. Russia, despite sanctions, has built stronger ties with emerging powers. And Brazil has changed too. Today, it has trade agreements with multiple blocs, plays a key role in the BRICS Plus, and holds a respected position in international negotiations. The tactic of isolating countries no longer works as easily. Trump's attempt to use tariffs as intimidation was met with resistance and strategic diplomacy. Brazil's current foreign policy under Lula is pragmatic, based on multilateralism and national sovereignty. It doesn't seek conflict with the US, but it also doesn't bend to political or economic blackmail. While maintaining open channels with Washington, Brazil has strengthened its ties with the European Union, resumed dialogue with African nations, and deepened its presence in the global south. This diversified approach has given the country something invaluable: real alternatives. And having alternatives means you're no longer at the mercy of external pressure. Trump, with his outdated worldview rooted in bipolar dominance and economic nationalism, doesn't seem to realize the game has changed. His decision to backtrack on the tariff plan, even partially, is an indirect admission that Brazil is no longer a passive player on the global stage. Beyond the economic impact, this moment carries immense symbolic weight. It demonstrates that even when facing threats from the US president, Brazil can maintain its sovereignty and strategic position without bowing to pressure. It strengthens the country's image among other nations and opens doors for future negotiations and alliances. The message is clear: Brazil, when led intelligently, can stand toe-to-toe with major powers. And that is a profound shift for a country long seen as peripheral in global affairs. Trump may still try new tactics. His style is unpredictable and often impulsive. The international stage remains volatile. But one thing is certain: Brazil has learned to respond not with emotional outbursts, but with strategy and composure. In the coming months, what will shape the future of Brazil US relations is not just Trump's will, but Brazil's ability to maintain its sovereign, pragmatic, and results-driven foreign policy. This is not just about trade, it's about respect. And in this round, Brazil came out on top. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Trump will push this pressure campaign further? Or has Brazil finally shown the world that it can't be pushed around? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share this with someone who needs to understand the new global balance of power.